Hi everybody, welcome back. Canada is up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. No, it's not that bad. Well, it might be that bad. We'll see. Conservatives on the decline, religious on the decline, capitalists furious with us. We put in a couple of changes last time around the Food Standard Agency and also organ donation. How has that affected health? It's affected it a lot. Look, we've had the desired effect with health. Look, it's gone up. Which is very good, actually. So that's good. Productivity, we're hoping that has increased as well through health going up. It has a little bit, actually, which is very good. It's currently chipping away at the issue of an uncompetitive economy, so there's still some work to do around that. However, we're going to have to sidetrack slightly and make sure that we can make amends with the religious faction of Canada, also the Conservatives and the capitalists in some way, shape, or form. Tobacco tax, we said last time that we were going to increase this to 50%, netting us a little bit more money. Everyone is going to be fairly mad at us. We're going to increase poverty slightly. Tobacco usage will go down, and that'll have a positive effect on health. It's going to cost us all of our man points this turn to do this, but I think it's worth doing. It's a huge problem on state-funded health services, apparently, smoking in general. I think... I saw a documentary one time on the NHS, and smoking just like has this huge impact on how much it costs to keep the NHS running because of all like the different illnesses people can develop through smoking. It's generally considered unhealthy. It's been known to cause cancer and stuff like that. So I think we're going to raise this to 50%, make some money off the fact that people are hopelessly addicted to smoking cigarettes, which obviously is morally ridiculous. But Tristan Gretzky doesn't seem to mind too much, being the long-lost brother of Wayne Gretzky, who Wayne, at this point in time, wants nothing to do with, and rightly so. This is a fairly controversial one, but it's going in. Good God. God save my soul. Great. Deficit is still hovering at $33.82 billion. We should see some of that clawed back in the form of income off the back of taxing by an additional 20% tobacco. Holy shit. Tobacco tax. Who would have thought? It's kind of crazy to think, actually, that we can make that much money off tobacco tax and not off alcohol tax. You would have thought that maybe alcohol tax would have made us more, because I think it's generally something that a lot more people do, especially nowadays. I don't think cigarette smoking is as popular as it once was. I think it's definitely in a state of decline. Possibly. I might be talking out of my ass. And actually, just scrap all that. I am talking out of my ass, probably, as with most things. But in terms of this game, anyway, we're making the big ones off taxing tobacco, which has got to be a good thing, I guess, for us to get reelected and keep this country under control. Great. Productivity. Is there anything else that we could do? Not this turn. We only have 2 political power fists left this turn, so there's not much we can do. We're going to have to skip through to the next quarter. Whew. Everybody keep your fingers crossed. It's going to be a rough ride from here on in, I think. Jesus, we're making impossible promises. It's true. We have made some impossible promises. We're back. Wow, we've had a petition to ban animal testing. Pretty controversial one here as well. A proposal to ban all animal experimentation has been placed before government by pressure groups. We currently have quite a few people working in industries that use animal testing, but it is also a highly unpopular practice. It is. The things that they do to animals to test, like cosmetics, to test things that you wouldn't even think would need to be tested, but of course they do need to be tested. They will test things like detergents, they'll test things like bleach, like kitchen cleaning stuff, everything. They will test it on animals to ensure that it isn't going to negatively impact humans when they go to use it. So next time you use bleach, like in your bathroom or something like that to clean it, or in your kitchen, or whatever you would use bleach for, it's likely that bleach has been used on an animal at some point to ensure that it is safe for you to use. And that's why it's so unpopular and so controversial. Currently, in the real world, banning animal testing is not something that I believe any country has actually done. There's a lot of big companies like the Body Shop, famously, wanted to have animal testing banned, and make sure that you're fully aware that they don't use any ingredients in their products, for instance, that have been tested on animals. So there's a lot of movement around banning animal testing, or people taking it into their own hands to not support animal testing. But we now have the option in fake Canada, of which I am the fake Prime Minister, to ban it. And I personally believe that that's a good thing to ban, because there's other ways of testing this stuff other than making animals suffer in the course of doing that. So we're going to do it. In this day and age, there's no good reason to test any products on animals, especially cosmetics. Like I said, the practices used are often incredibly cruel, and a ban would have widespread public support and little real impact on industry. Okay, we're going to do it. It probably will have some sort of impact on industry, because a lot of industries have been using this practice since before industries began, sort of thing. It's always been a way to sort of test things or whatever, so there would have to be like a massive rejig in industry or whatever, but we're going to go for it. It's a popular thing to do. Popularity is something that we desperately need right now, being at 59% popularity. It could swing either way, so we're going to do it. We're going to ban it. We're going to ban animal testing. Great. Budget report, credit rating is BB. Polls report that we have 58% of the vote in an election, down another further percent, and that's probably due to the fact that we increased tobacco tax by 20% last quarter. Our intelligence reports that the Battenbergs, not much movement. They haven't had any new members, so we might be okay. Our security effectiveness is adequate, apparently. Maybe that's worryingly, actually. Great. We're back. It looks like things have evened out with the capitalists and with the religious. The conservatives are no longer on the decline, but they're still not overly happy. What can we do to make religious people somewhat happy, and potentially capitalists? And at the same time, maybe killing two birds with one stone, increasing productivity, getting rid of this uncompetitive economy. Will we ever get rid of this? Fuck knows. I have no idea. Corporation tax apparently is still feeding into this quite heavily. Let's just take a quick look at corporation tax. A direct and proportionate tax on the profits of businesses. We changed this at some point, didn't we? We can abolish corporation tax. It's going to cost us 30 fists to do that, which we don't have. Of course, we can raise and lower. I believe we lowered this to 10% at one point, didn't we? And that made the capitalists quite happy. We can lower it even more. And that has look at that. We can lower it to 1%, and everybody is happy, except for the socialists, who lose a little bit of happiness. Not bad. The capitalists will make happy in the meantime, which is something that we want to do. The wealthy remain unchanged. Self-employed remain unchanged. High earnings, self-employed income. These are all things, once again, I think I touched on a couple of episodes ago. These are all people that will benefit from there being a very low, if not just like a zero corporation tax. Of course, we lose money doing this as well. We're currently making $5.4 billion a quarter off this. Lowering it all the way down means that we're once again in massive amounts of debt, increasing the deficit and everything, which is not the best, actually, by a long shot. So I wonder if we should touch this. Maybe we shouldn't, actually. Maybe there's something else that we can put into tax, policy-wise, that'll help us here, though. We've got luxury goods tax, not a very good thing, especially for the wealthy and for capitalists and stuff. Married tax allowance. This is a fairly popular one. Potential costs range from $58 million to $3 billion. This is a tax break for married couples. These exist. I'm pretty sure there's one where I live in Jersey. There's a married tax allowance, and it's given as an encouragement for people to marry and also to stick together. Church groups see it as an essential that the state encourages traditional family values, of course. Some see it as religion meddling in the tax system for no good reason. It's fairly popular, however. Costs a little bit to implement, but it'll go some way to making the religious faction of Canada, as I've so often call them, happy, which is something that we probably want to do. It's going to cost us a little bit. I don't think we're going to make any money off these policies ideas. I mean, we can make some money. Look at that. We can make money off a car tax, an airline tax, having a flat income tax. Look at the potential income of a flat income tax. Holy crap. We could have an internet tax. How hilarious would that be? We can actually make some money off the internet in form of tax. Mortgage tax relief is going to cost us. And a mansion tax. Wow. If you own a mansion, you have to pay more tax. And potentially we can earn like $4 billion off of that. Let's go for this married tax allowance. We might as well go for it. I think it's a good start anyway. We're going to have to save quite a few fist points going into our next quarter if we want to do any of this kind of stuff. Flat income tax might be, God, I don't know. It's unpopular with voters, but not by any percentage. A flat rate income tax is a tax where every citizen pays the same marginal rate of income tax regardless of their total income. As a result, the cleaner in the office pays the same rate as the CEO, though the CEO's tax bill will be higher. This simpler structure can lead to lower avoidance and evasion. It is not progressive and can exacerbate income inequality. Ouch. Look at the potential income though, 107 billion at the highest end of that scale. Wah wah wee wah. What about carbon tax? I think this will probably go against what we're trying to do to make our economy competitive again. Carbon tax is a tax levied on all emissions of carbon dioxide, thought to be the main cause of climate change. So the tax is effectively a pollution tax and a way to make those individuals and industries who contribute to the climate change pay for the damage they cause or to reduce emissions. Obviously, the tax is popular with environmentalists and can also lead to a more energy efficient economy. That might be one that we can look at doing. Carbon tax, those kind of exist in places. I think Britain's got a carbon tax now. Maybe one was passed a couple of years ago. I can't quite remember. I'm sure that there's some sort of incentive out there anyway for carbon tax and it generally greener ways of living anyway. We'll take a look at this. We have insufficient capital this turn, but we'll look at it next turn, hopefully, carbon tax, and try to make some money off of it. For now, let's go for this married tax allowance anyway. Make the religious people happy. Look at the religious, get a huge boost. Conservatives as well, a nice big boost. Parents, back up. Liberalism takes a little bit of a hit. Advantageous, it's going to cost us the more we slide this. Do we want to slide it any more than need be? In fact, let's go in low at 1 billion. Well, I say low. That's still a huge boost for conservatives and religious. It's popular with the voters, and Tristan Gretzky is fairly happy that finally we're putting in something that's popular and not unpopular in his domain, in his ministerial domain. So let's do it. Married tax allowance. Apply changes. Yeah. It's in. Married tax allowance. Holy shit. Okay, we're left with 3 Manfist points. It's time to go through to the next turn and see if we can get that CO2 emission tax up and start chipping away at the deficit. We've added another billion to the deficit. We went down from 33 to 32. Now we're back up to 33 once again, which is a bit of a shame. Fine. Posturing on foreign policy. Quarterly report. Oh, it's Haley Bouchard again. Oh my god, she's like so disloyal now. Look at this. Haley, we're going to fire you in like 2 seconds. I totally forgot to do it a while ago. Positive discrimination. There's an urgent policy question that requires your immediate attention. On positive discrimination, pass law. We need this law. In economic terms, it makes no sense for people below or above a certain age to be rendered unemployable. Also, in human rights terms, this is much needed compensation for years of discrimination in the workplace against ethnic minorities, women, the elderly, and the disabled. Of course, this is a fairly controversial one in the real world. Positive discrimination. There are calls for a law to expressly set quotas for the employment of ethnic and other minorities by large corporations and government institutions. This would put pressure on companies to give higher priority to some job candidates than others on the basis of their race, sex, or age. So this is incentivizing companies to hire people that they may not normally hire because for some reason they discriminate against people that are like elderly. Maybe they're not suitable for the job. Maybe a 60-year-old man isn't the ideal person to be working at the Gap. Maybe he is. I have no idea. I don't work at the Gap. I don't own the Gap. I don't manage a Gap store, so I don't really care. But of course, being the Prime Minister of fake Canada, I have to pretend to care about all this stuff anyway. we can pass a law or we can reject the law. The calls for rejecting the law say that it's deeply flawed. It makes no sense to fight discrimination by using discrimination, of course. It creates two problems: that of the minority members who feel they may not have achieved the position on merit, and the resentment of the potential employee who was denied the job. So what we're saying here is that you can't beat discrimination with discrimination. That's right. Is it right that we want to have somebody who's unsuitable for the job working in the job just because they fit some sort of checklist that we've devised in order to help people that have been discriminated against in the past from getting jobs or whatever? It's so controversial, and it is something in the real world which is fairly controversial as well. It's not something that we can pass as law realistically in fake Canada. I don't think it's the right thing to do, so we're going to reject it. Rejected. Whoever rejected that one, it's probably Haley Bouchard. We can just fire them and we'll regain the popularity anyway. It's absolutely fine. Polls report. We're back up on top. Look at that. We gained 10% from the married tax law, which is very good. Conservatives and religious people probably fairly pleased with us. Security briefing. We've got the Battenberg group on our tails once again. The infamous Battenberg group. My God, I'm very scared. Our cabinet report. Ministers are loyal and good, apparently. Our party membership is the largest by a noticeable margin, which is very good. And our credit rating is still BB. BB, everybody. Oh, look at that. There's no red on there. Look, popularity is green once again. I like these colors, yellow and green. That's what it's all about. Look, as I furiously move my mouse cursor around. It's great. Capitalists, the religious on the rise off the back of that. How much do we have? We have 24 fist points. I don't know if we can actually do this. Carbon tax. Insufficient capital. How much does it cost? It doesn't say anywhere how much it costs, does it? Have I just missed it? Ah, here it is. Introduction cost 39! Holy shit! How do I save up 39 political capital? I think I need a cabinet reshuffle. I think that's why. Where's my cabinet? It's up here. Here they are. Oh, look at this. I'm getting so little capital because of people like Haley Bouchard, who's not even loyal. It's going to cost us 1 capital. We're going to have a reshuffle. My God, we have not done this. And in actual fact, Sarah Patel is also a little bit of a problem too. Look, she does not bring much to the table with 2.2 man fists. But Haley Bouchard has a lot of experience, is fairly effective, but not loyal, and she's probably sick of her job. I think she wants to be an Avon sales rep. I think that's why she wants to leave politics. So we'll help her along in her crusade to become the best goddamn Avon sales rep in the land by firing her. Bye, Haley. Look, everybody's whispering. The bastards, they're judging me. All right, we need to hire a welfare minister now. Look at all these potential candidates. Woo! Stephen Harper. Of course, that's not. It's Harold Gilmore. He has no experience. We are recruiting for welfare. These people all desire welfare jobs, except for Jan Cote or Cote. He does not want to work in welfare. Victoria McDonald, Maya Martin, Mathis Stewart, John Bouchard, Matilda Francis. All of these people are very, very loyal. Look at how many man-fisting points Matilda Francis brings to the job. She doesn't have a lot of experience. However, she's super loyal, and she's sympathetic towards socialists and trade unionists. Is there anyone else here who brings a lot of... Nobody brings more man-fist points to the table than Matilda Francis. Matilda, you are our person for the job. You're hired. My God, a couple of more Matildas, and we should be able to actually get enough political capital to get that CO2 emissions tax enacted, which would be very good. Sarah Patel, increasingly disloyal. Experience is fairly good. Fairly effective, and has sympathies towards commuter and liberals. Also famously the mother of little Gary Patel, the best phone salesman in the land, but not really bringing much to the table at the moment. Look at this, 1.5 man fists per turn. We can take a look at potential ministers for this public services minister job. There are some really great contenders here. I mean, look at this. Harold Gilmore wants to work in public services, doesn't have much experience, but he's pretty loyal. And look at that. He brings 4.6 man points to the table. Also, Max Taylor. who actually strictly does not want to work in public services, so is probably not really ideal for the job. Harold Gilmore, though, seems like somebody I want on board. So we're going to do it. Look at him. It looks like Steve Martin. I want Steve Martin in my cabinet. I don't want Sarah Patel in my cabinet. 2 capital fire you. Sorry, Sarah, you're out. Harold Gilmore. Let's get you in here. Where are you, Harold? There you are. Welcome aboard, Harold. Look at that. Wow. Look at this. Capital per turn is 21. Current capital available is 21. I think we'll increase that quite a bit now, actually. And what about John Gilmore? John Gilmore. He's fairly loyal. He's fairly experienced. He's fairly effective. But he's not bringing much to the table. He's the Minister of Industry. Do we want to see if we can get somebody else better in here for... what was that? Sorry, that was the... Minister for Industry. Minister for Industry? What the fuck? Industry. Minister for Industry. Where are you? Industry? Is that... Oh God, is that economy? It is. It's the economy. It says industry, but it's actually the economy. Economy, where are you? We want people who want to do economy, such as Max Taylor. Look at that. He's got glasses. Immediately making him a better economist than John Gilmore. Max Taylor. What a cool name, too. All right, Max Taylor. We're getting you in. We're going to get you in. We're going to get rid of John Gilmore. And we're going to get you in. We're going to waste 2 more man-fist points. And we're going to get Max Taylor in here. Max Taylor, where are you? Here you are. You're hired. Oh, look at this. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. We're doing good. We've got a whole bunch of man-fist points, extra man-fist points to work with now, thanks to this reshuffle. Look at all these people are pissed about all of this reshuffling and stuff. Look at all these people that have been working these jobs for the longest time, mad that all this new blood is coming in. And every time we fire somebody, it looks like the capital goes down a little bit. So it's probably best not to have like a super reshuffle. Reshuffle cabinet for... I wonder what this actually does. I've never tried this. Fires everyone in the cabinet and returns them to the list of available ministers for reassignment. This costs some political capital. Let's do this instead. I've done this the dumbest possible way because I've never actually done it before. I'm going to do this. There we go. Now we can work at getting 42 potential man-fist points for that CO2 emissions thing. Foreign Affairs Minister. Who we're going to get? We want to get somebody who is going to give us a lot of points. Foreign policy. Max Taylor. Formerly The Economist. Or we could get Matthew Messier. All right, Matthew Messier, you're on. Okay, welfare. Who are we going to hire? We're going to hire for welfare. Who did we have before? Is it Maya Martin? No, but she brings 4 to the table, which is good. It's a lot better than welfare. Mathis Stewart, 4.5. All right, Mathis Stewart, you're on board. Economy, of course, we want Max Taylor. Where is he? Max Taylor. We're hiring Max Taylor for the economy. Tax. Who are we going to hire for tax? Jesus. Is there anyone here worth hiring for tax? Tax. Anyone tax? Anyone want to work in tax? 1.5. 2.5. Victoria McDonald for tax. 3.1. Jan Coate for tax. 4.0. Maya Martin. Tax. All right, Maya. You're in. Public services. Who do we want? Public services. Who did we have before? It was Steve Martin. Steve Martin, you're back. Law and Order. Oh my God. There can be only one for Law and Order, and that is the one and only Lori Singh? No, can't be Lori. What the hell? How about Maria Murphy at 3.9? Law and Order. No, Noah Gerard. Law and Order 4.5. All right, Noah Gerard, you're in. And Transport Minister, finally. We want somebody with a lot of capital. Is there anyone left with any capital? Transport? No. Matilda does not want to work in transport. And actually, Matilda Francis has become fairly disloyal and doesn't bring much to the table after my hiring and firing fiasco previous to this. Transport. Who can we get in for transport that's actually just going to give us anything worthwhile? Transport? Maybe it will be Matilda. No, she's not even transport. We're gonna have to hire somebody that's not even overly loyal. I can't believe it. Transport. Okay, Sophia Howe at 2.3. Not the best. You're gonna come in and work transport. We'll make it up to you, Matilda. Or sorry, Sophia Howe. I keep calling you Matilda for some reason. Okay, you're in. Fine. Capital per turn is only 28. We still need to work on that. We will do that, though. Okay, great. Meet your new cabinet. Wow. What a motley crew. Jesus. We have 9-man fist super points left over. We should probably end this turn now while we're on the up with the religious and conservative factions of Canada. And we'll take a quick look to see how health is doing. It's leveled out after all those changes. How's productivity doing? Any better? It's on the up. It is slowly on the up. Of course, our deficit is 32 billion still. There's maybe some more that we can do with tax, especially if we get those CO2 emissions taxes in. That might be quite good. We're still tackling the issues of uncompetitive economy and also pollution in general. There's homelessness as well, and there's still this asthma epidemic. But so far, so good. We seem to be on the up. We're popular. Most of the different factions of people across the country are fairly happy with us as well, which is very good. Our deficit isn't too out of control, so there's a little bit of work that we can still do there. And after some more cabinet reshuffling, hopefully we can raise enough political capital to implement some higher yielding taxes that aren't just gonna like shit all over every other policy that we put in. Okay, great. That's probably a good place to end. As usual, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.